to our Burns themed evening. My name is Gail Fraser and I'm one of the committee members, and this is our third virtual event following on from our 95th anniversary Ceilidh and more recently our Christmas dance. We're very lucky to have many talented people willing to do a wee turn in front of the camera, and I'd like to thank everyone for their time and effort in making tonight possible. It is very much appreciated. I'm also delighted that you are all able to join with us for some music, poetry and dancing. And so with our glasses filled, here's to an enjoyable evening. Cheers.
This poem was written by Rabbie Bonds in 1786, and today, 235 years later, it's still read and recited. Address to a haggis. Fair fought your honest sonsy face, great chieftain of the puddin' race. Aboon them all ye tak your place, pains, tripe or thern. Weel are ye worthy o' grace, as lang's my iron. The groaning trencher there ye fill, your hurdies like a distant hill, your pinnace fit to mend a mill in time o' need, and through your pores the dews distil like amber beads. His knife see rustic labour dight, and cut ye up wi' ready sleight, trenching your gushing entrails bright like ony ditch. And then, oh what a glorious sight, warm, reeking, rich. Then horn for horn we stretch and strive, deal tack the hindmost on the drive, till all their wheels swell kites be live or bent like drums. Then old good man, maist like to rive, bethankit hums. Is there that our his French ragout, or olio that would stow a sow, or fricassee would mak her spew with perfect scunner, looks down with sneering, scornful view on sic a dinner. Poor devil, see him out his trash, as feckless as a withered rash, his spindle shanks a gid whiplash his knee in it. through bloody flood and field to dash? Oh, how unfit. But Mark the rustic haggis fed, the trembling earth resounds his tread, clapping his wally knee of a blade he'll mak it whistle, and legs and arms and head will sned like taps o' thistle. Ye powers, wha mak mankind your care and dish them out their bill of fare, all Scotland wants nae skinking ware that scalps and luggies. But if you want her grateful prayer, gie her a haggis. Finish with a verse from George. I don't have to drive when I finish here, and having got the poem over, feel frisky. So join me in a toast to Rabbie Burns with his favourite drink, a whisky.
The Haggis Thrash. First couple dance a figure of 8 around the twos. Ones and twos advance and retire for 2 steps and turn partners 2 hands. Ones and twos dance right hands across and left hands back. Ones end facing other partner. Ones and twos dance a reel of 4 across, and the twos end in first place and the ones in second place, ready to start again. The Haggis Thrash.
Well, hello folks, and it's a real privilege to be here to give the toast to the lassies at this virtual RSCDS Aberdeen branch Burns Supper. Of course, the RSCDS has a long history of formidable women at its heart. The organisation was founded by Jean Milligan and Isabel Stewart. The current president and chairman are both women, with Jean Martin and Lorna Ogilvie having strong connections to Aberdeen. And even at a local level, all of the office bearers in the branch are women: Lynn Cursitor, Lynn Wood, Sheila Bain and Fiona Taylor. Now, speaking of Sheila, I have received a very nice letter from her recently, and I just wanted to share it with you all. It says, "Dear Gary, I'm writing this letter slowly because I know you can't read very fast. We're all very well here. You won't recognise the house when you come next because we've moved. It is quite nice and has got a washing machine. I put shirts in it last week, pulled the chain and haven't seen them since. Billy's got a really good job now. He's got 500 men under him. He's cutting the grass at the cemetery. I hear your sister has had her baby, but I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, so I can't tell you whether you're an aunt or an uncle. My cousin Jimmy died last week at the brewery. He fell into a vat of whiskey. A couple of his mates dived in to save him, but he fought them off bravely. He was cremated on Wednesday and it took a week to put the fire out. It only rained twice last week, once for a day and once for 3 days. I've sent you a coat, but it was too heavy for the post, so I've cut the buttons off and I've put them in the pockets. My brother Tom is still in the army. He's only been there 3 months and they've made him a court-martial already. Love, Sheila. P.S. I was going to enclose £5, but I've already sealed the envelope." Now, Anna Smale is given the reply on behalf of the lassies for this Burns Supper. And as you know, Anna has gone all over the world with the Aurora group. And Anna and Alison Smith were on a plane on one of these trips. And Anna turned to Alison and says, "Alison, if this plane turns over, will we flout?" And Alison says, "No, I'll still speak to you." Now, when I got married a few years ago, I asked the very esteemed Frank Thompson for a bit of advice on women. And we know women are a fickle lot, so I wanted to get this advice from Frank. And he sent me this email on some of the words to maybe watch out for when dealing with women. Fine. This is the word that women use to end an argument when they feel they are right and you need to shut up. Never use fine to describe how a woman looks. This will cause you to have one of those arguments. 5 minutes. If they're getting dressed, then this means half an hour. 5 minutes is only 5 minutes if you have just been given 5 minutes to watch the football before helping around the house. Nothing. This means something. Nothing usually signifies an argument that will last 5 minutes and end with fine. Go ahead. This is a dare. One that will result in the female getting upset over nothing and will end with the word fine. Means she thinks you're an idiot at that moment and wonders why she's wasting her time standing there arguing with you over nothing. That's okay. This is one of the most dangerous statements that a female can make. That's okay means she wants you to think long and hard before paying you back for whatever it is that you've done. Thanks. The woman is actually thanking you. Do not faint, just say you're welcome. However, this is not to be confused with thanks a lot, which is very much different. It signifies you have offended her in some callous way and will be followed by and finally, don't worry about it, I've got it. Another dangerous statement, meaning that she will have told you to do something several times but is now doing it herself. Do not ask what is wrong, as she will only tell you nothing. The other quick story I wanted to tell you was about the wifey that went to the doctors, and she says, I would like maybe a set of the Dolly Partons. And he says, oh, you're maybe a bit ill for an operation. Can I ask you how old you are? Oh, I'm 98, she says. Oh, well, you're definitely too old for an operation, says the doctor. But I'll tell you what, I can give you some exercises. And if you do them every morning, before you going out, then this will help with the expansion. So if you just do Scooby-Dooby-Dooby, give me bigger booby. Scooby-Dooby-Dooby, give me bigger booby. So without fail, every morning the wifey does these exercises. Scooby-Dooby-Dooby, give me bigger booby. Scooby-Dooby-Dooby, give me bigger booby. So there's this morning she gets up a bit late, kind, and she gobbles doing her breakfast. She gets onto the bus and she's sitting in the bus and she's like, oh, and I did my exercises. Scooby-Dooby-Dooby, give me bigger booby. Scooby-Dooby-Dooby, give me bigger booby. So she gets off the bus at our stop in Union Street, and the bus driver says, excuse me, madam, but could you tell me, is your doctor Dr. Morrison? Aye, it is, she says. How did you ken that? Hickory dickory doc. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. It's just amazing the impact that women have had on the RSCDS, and quite frankly, us men would be lost without you. Not just in life, but particularly in dancing, because I did dance with Jim Stott at the time. So, men, gentlemen, please raise your glasses to the lovely lassies.
Thank you, Gary. And on behalf of all the lassies who joined us tonight, I would like to thank you very much for these lovely compliments and your kind words and observations. They're all true, of course, because we're a fantastic bunch of lassies. I know that traditionally the reply to the toast of the lassies is usually a wee bit sarky. That's a lovely word, isn't it? Sarky. But somehow, with the cloud of coronavirus hanging over us, it just doesn't seem quite right this year to be too critical about all you lovely lads. After all, we're not just lads and lassies, we're all Scottish country dancers, and we should all be looking forward together, shoulder to shoulder, albeit 2 meters apart. Now, Miss Milligan, in one of her little books, has a dance called Shoulder to Shoulder. We can't dance it, but we can visualize it. So let's do that. Big long line set. First couple, turn all the way around with the right hand, back to place, all the way around with the left hand. First couple, lead down the middle of the set, come back and finish in the center of the set. The lady above the man, and the twos come in behind them to form one big long line. And of course, because this is the Aberdeen branch, the RSCDS, it will be a nice straight line. Ooh. Set to your partner twice, and with 2 hands turn all the way around with 4 pas de basques, ready for a reel of 4. Finishing, ready for a placette, and the 1s and 2s change places with a placette. Wow, that's a 40-bar jig in a 2-couple set. If we were dancing that, we'd all be a bit puffed. In fact, while I was researching the instructions for shoulder to shoulder in the Scottish Country Dance Dictionary, the dance immediately above it was called shortness of breath. And I just thought that's pretty appropriate. So there we are, standing in our big long line. bit puffed, and looking at our lads. Now, lads, I hope you're all practicing your paddy bars in the kitchen, because when we get back to dancing, we're going to expect great things from you. There's a convention in ballroom dancing that the man leads. I have still to be convinced that that can also apply to Scottish country dancing. Many's the time being led up the garden path by some of you lads with your own interpretation of the dancing instructions. And take the poussette we've just visualised. The poussette, when it's danced nicely, is a good formation. But my goodness me, there are times when I feel it's a bit like manoeuvring a supermarket trolley. But all of that we can forgive as we look at our lovely lads, big long line of our lovely lads, all dressed in their smart Highland outfits. Most of them look really, really good. There's one or two that maybe haven't quite got it right. My middle name's MacLeod. I'm named after my grandmother who came from the island of Lewis. And those of you who know your tartans will know that the MacLeod of Lewis tartan is a wee bit bright. I've been to a Scottish country dance when one of my kinsmen has been wearing this, bedecked from head to foot. I have no idea what he was thinking. Just like a glorified budgie. But there's others that don't get it quite right. This is just my opinion, and only my opinion. But you look at them, and there's funny socks and flashes of sort of waving around their calves, kilts which are just not quite the right length. And where did you get that kilt pin? Belts, don't mention the sporran. Cufflinks, tie pin, and sometimes even a nose stuff. You've got to be, lads, you've got to be very careful you don't look like a sort of out of season Christmas tree with shiny bits all over the place. It's not a good look. But that's just my opinion. It's only my opinion. Lasses, have you seen on television the Scots beef outfit? Ooh. It could be Scots lot, but it doesn't matter. There's this fine figure of a man wearing a kilt, striding up the hillside. And when he reaches the top, he poses as if he's lord of all he surveys. Now he is someone that the younger members of our group would describe as a wee bit of eye candy. Funnily enough, the next vision which flits across my eyes is that of our lovely Gary Cool wearing his hunting Fraser kilt. Enough. I digress. Back to shoulder, and still 2 meters apart. And still 2 meters apart. Shoulder to shoulder was a slogan of the suffragettes. They were a fine group of lasses. I wonder what they would think of the way we're handling this epidemic. But I do know that what they would like is that in 2020, in the list of prize winners for the Nobel Prize for Physics and the Nobel Prize for Chemistry, there were quite a few lasses. So you see, we're not just pretty faces. Some of us have got that extra something as well. And that's what Robbie Burns liked. come off it. It's Burns night. I've got to introduce Robert Burns somewhere. Burns, he was a ladies' man. He liked a pretty face and he liked a girl, a lassie, who had that extra something. And he wrote poems for them. A poem for Mary, a poem for Jean, and a poem for what's her name. Bonny poems, I will give you that. Bonny poems. But some of the words are a bit, I mean, if you take the poem The Banks of Doon, oft hae I roved by bonny Doon to see the rose and woodbine twine, and ilka bird sang o its love, and fondly say did I o mine. Well, lasses, if you're walking down by the Dee or the Dawn and you hear somebody singing their heads off, I don't think that the first thought that would flit through your mind would be, they're in love. You're more likely to think, well, they've had a drop too many. Talking of a drop too many, there's that chap, Tam O'Shanter. Tam sitting boozing in the nappy, getting foo and Uncle happy. Nae thinking o' the land Scots miles, mosses, waters, slaps and stiles that lie between him and his hame, while sits his sulky, sullen dame. Well, that poem was obviously written by a man, wasn't it? I think she was quite entitled to be feeling a bit peeved. But was she sitting at home, sulky and sullen? I must admit, I've got a good bit of free time for Kate O'Shanter. Kate slaved away the livelong day. They had so many bills to pay. The bairns, they just had to have some shoes, and Tammy spent that much on booze. She does the wash, she mends the clothes, and what else? God only knows. She keeps the house all neat and trim and makes the lunch for Ploughboy Jim, a neighbour lad they hire by day who does the work while Tam's away. So you see, I don't think that while Tam was sitting in the nappy getting foo and Uncle happy, that Kate was just sitting at home sullen and sulky. I think she probably found better things to do. There is one poem that I think Burns got really right, and that's A Man's a Man for a' that. And I'm going to alter it slightly to make it a lad's a lad for a' that. And lads, we miss you. We miss meeting you. We miss dancing with you. We miss laughing both with you and at you. And we really look forward to the day when we can once again dance with our lovely lads. All of your lads. So lassies, please join with me to toast our lovely lads, our lads.
Wally Wassell dwelt on Tweed, the spot they called it Lincoln Doddy. Wally was a Webster gid, could stoon a clue wi' anybody. He has a wife, was dour and din. Old Tinkler Major was her mither. Sic a wife as Wally had, I wouldn't gie a button for her. She has a knee, she has but ane. The cat has twa the very colour. 5 rusty teeth for by a stump, a clapper tongue would Diva Miller. A whiskin beard about her moo, her nose and chin nae threaten other. Sic a wife as Willie had, I wouldna gie a button for her. She's bow hocht, she's hem shint, a limpin' leg a handbreed shorter. She's twisted rich, she's twisted left, to balance fair in ilka quarter. She has a hump upon her breast, the twin of that upon her shoulder. Sic a wife as Willie had, I wouldna gie a button for her. Auld bodrins by the ingle sits, and wear loof her face a washing. But Willie's wife is nae sic trig, she dicks her grunsy wi' a hushin'. Her wally kneves like midden creels, her face would file the Logan water. Sic a wife as Willie had, I wouldna gie a button for her.
Burns Bicentenary Strathspey. The 3s and 4s start on the opposite sides. 1s and 2s and the 3s and the 4s circle 4 hands to the left and set and link on sides. You're all going to then dance reels of 4 on the sides. First man and fourth lady and fourth man and first lady dance ladies' chain, end facing and promenade hold. First man and fourth lady and fourth man and first lady are going to promenade across, the men passing left shoulder. The 4s are going to dance up between the 2s and cast to second places, whilst the 1s dance down and cast to third places. Burns Bicentenary Strathspey.
The festive fairly. Fair fire face, ye festive fairly. What are ye doing here so early? We were expecting sprouts and scarly and bubbly jock, but there ye sit, warm reeking rarely, to gi'e a shock. Our best laid schemes for Boxing Day were made lang syne, but went astray, and the bubbly jock that we had booked wasna keen on being cooked. We fed him weel, we werena sparing, the best bird seed a halesome faring. But we jalouse we had a hunch that he was due to be our lunch, and when a skein o' geese flew past, headed west and fleeing fast, our bubbly jock thought, that looks bra, and spread his wings and flew awa. The gleikit fowl was later seen landing on the Loch of Skene, to save himself from being cooked by making on that he was a jook. But he forgot as he glided doon that he couldna swim, and so he drooned. Now we were in a awkward scrape, since our main course had just escaped. Nae time to get another bird, but we remembered Brabby's words. Nae bubbly jokes for us in future, we bought a haggis fae the butcher. So here's to haggis, late or early, with tatties, neeps, breed o' barley. The groaning trencher reeking rarely. Tak off your dram and drink it fairly. Fill up the plate and eat it a'. The haggis winna flee awa'.
Up in the morning's nae for me, up in the morning early, when all the hills are covered with snow, I'm sure it's winter fairly. Cold blows the wind fae east to west, the drift is driving sairly. Sae loud and shrill I hear the blast, I'm sure it's winter fairly. Up in the morning's nae for me, up in the morning early, when all the hills are covered with snow, I'm sure it's winter fairly. The birds sit chittering in the thorn, a' day they fare but sparely, and langs the nicht fae e'en to morn, I'm sure it's winter fairly. Up in the morning's nae for me. Up in the morning early, when a' the hills are covered with snow, I'm sure it's winter fairly.
Hi, I'm Laura. I'm Emily, and today we'll be playing The Piper o' Dundee, followed by Ye Banks and Braes.
The all wooden lavvy. Div ye mine on lang, lang syne, and a timmer hoosie fine, sacks by fower and a little bit, doon at the garden fit. Div ye mine on lang, lang syne, when the summer's day was fine, and ye walk it to the lavvy in the morning. Its wa's were whitewashed clean, and its seat near scrubbit dean. It had pictures on a wa', and we thocht it half a bra. Div ye mine on lang, lang syne, when the summer's day was fine, and ye scrub it out the lavvy in the morning. Robbie Burns hung on a wa', we's moosey there and and waxcloth tacket to the fleer, a bitty wara weir. Div ye mine on lang, lang syne, when the summer's day was fine, in the fairlies in the lavy in the morning. The seat was long and wide, wi' a hole cut out to bide, wi' a big zinc stable pail aneath. At files gart a body had their breath. Div ye mind on lang, lang syne, when the summer's day was fine, and ye teemped the reaming pail in the morning? Now, toilet rolls there was none, but we kept ourselves clean, we cutted bits of paper square, though chape 'twas roch and off a sear. Div ye mind on lang, lang syne, when the summer's day was fine, and ye cutted lavy paper in the morning? Now, gin ye need met a rest, and we fags you were blessed, with a journal in your hand ye'd got a' the news ye can. Div ye mind on lang, lang syne, when the summer's day was fine, and ye hid in a lavy in the morning? Div ye mind thon winter's day, when the frost would never loup? Ye'd shivered on the wooden seat, and the wind blew round your doup. Div ye mind on lang, lang syne, and the winters that ye mind, when ye froze in the lavy in the morning? But thon days was lang, lang syne, now a' things braw and fine, wi' tiles and rinnin water and soft paper just sublime. But still, aye springs to mind thon days o' auld lang syne, and the all wooden lavy in the morning.
Good evening, folks, and happy Burns Night. Now, Burns Night celebrates Scottish culture, but since I grew up in Nova Scotia in Canada, I thought I'd play you a few tunes from there. They're almost Scottish, I guess. I'll start with a 2/4 march, which I only know as the Old Cape Breton March. I'll follow that with Captain Campbell's, a nice strong Cape Breton strathspey. And then I'll go into two reels. Le Reel des Acadiens, which is a tune from Nova Scotia's French-speaking minority, and I'll finish off with Spootiskerry, which is actually a Scottish tune that made its way across. And I'm really glad to say Louise will be joining me on the reels.
Do you mind in long, long syne, when the summer days were fine, and the sun shone brighter far than it's ever been since syne? Do you mind the Harbrick turn, for we cuddled in the burn, and were late for our school in the morning? Do you mind the miller's dam, when the frosty weather come? Oh, we slid upon the curler's rink and made their game a sham. When they chased us through the snow, we gaed like Berlin and all, but we did it out again in the morning. Do you mind the sunny breeze, for we gathered hips and sleeves, and we fell among the brummel bushes, tearing our cleaves, and for fear we would be seen, we gaed slipping hame ateen, but were licked for our pains in the morning. For our own little hearts knew that we're e'en sae fond and true. Aye, there's some hae left this troubled scene, but there's some aye struggling through, and there's some hae risen higher and gin tae life's destiny, but they rose wi' the lark in the morning. Well, new life's sweet spring is past, and our autumn's come at last. Oh, our summer's day has passed away, and winter's coming fast. But though long the night may seem, we shall sleep wi' you to dream, till we walkin' on yon bright summer's morning.
This evening, Graham and I are going to play a selection of tunes by Muriel Johnston for you. They're particularly family favourites of ours because the first three were written by Muriel for my dad on his 65th birthday. There's a retreat march, then a 4-4 march, and finishing there with the real Ken, he's retired, as on his birthday he also retired. And then we're going to finish the selection with Muriel's tune, which she wrote for my mum for her 80th birthday, called Doris's Legacy. So I hope you enjoy this selection of tunes.
Hi, I'm Ken Lawton. I'm a member of the Thursday afternoon beginners class, and I want to share with you one of my favourite Burns poems called "Tae a Louse," written in 1785 when Burns was sitting in the church and saw a louse crawling through a lady's hair. So here we go. "Ha, where ye gone, ye crowling fearly? Your impudence protects ye sairly. I canna say but ye strut rarely o'er gauze and lace. Though faith I fear ye dine but sparely on sic a place. Ye ugly, creeping, blasted wonner, detested, shunned by son and sinner, how dare ye set your foot upon her, sae fine a lady? Gae somewhere else and seek your dinner on some poor body. Swith, in some beggar's half-it squattle, there ye creep, ye sprawl and sprattle, wi' other kindred jumping cattle, in shoals and nations. Or horn nor bane ne'er dore ye'd settle your thick plantations. Now, had ye there, out o' sicht, below the fatral snug and ticht, nae faith ye yet, you'll no be recht, till ye've got on't it. The verra tapmost towering hecht, o miss o bonnet. My soothright bod ye set your nose out, as plump and grey as any groset. Oh, for some rank mercurial roset, or fell, red smedum, I'll gie ye sic a hearty doset, would dress your dodderum. I wouldna be surprised to spy yon old wifey's flailing tie. I'll blains on Dubbin's stubby boy, on Wiley's coat. But Miss Fine Lanardy's fie, how dare ye do it? Oh, Jenny, dinna toss your head, you'll set your beauties all abread. Ye little ken the cursed speed the blasties making. They winks o' finger ends I dread, are notice taken. Ah, would some power the gift to gie us, to see ourselves as others see us. It would from mony a blunder free us, and foolish notion. What airs and dress and gait would lead us, and even devotion.
O whistle and I'll come to ye, me lad. Ones and threes cross right hand to dance reel of three with twos. Ones out and down and twos in and up to begin. Ones and threes cross back right hand to dance reels of three on your own sides. Ones cast below the threes, meet, lead up and cast to second place. Twos, ones and threes, set and cross right hands, set and cross back. O whistle and I'll come to ye, me lad.
The Miracle by Lena Harrer. Mom, my belly's sore. I think I've got a flu. Oh no, it's moving to my head now, and it's fair splitting now. Mom, my feet are dirling, wi' chronic preens and needles. My lugs are fairly ringing wi' fusslins, bangs and tweedles. Oh no, my hands are stiffening up. I canna hold a pen, and I'm feeling bumps aneath my skin. Mom, are you coming, Ben? It might be something catching, so I'd better miss the squeal. And in case it's yalla fever, I'd better miss the morn as well. Guid's sakes, my loon, we'll need to see the doc, but I'm nae sure fit he'll say. He'll be nae hours shooted, working on a holiday. A holiday? A holiday? Oh, I'm feeling better by the hour. My aches and pains have vanished. It's a miracle for sure.
As well as the Scottish selection that we've recorded for you, I thought I would play you something different. And this is a recording of a piece called How Does a Moment Last Forever? It's from the Disney film, From Beauty and the Beast. It's by Alan Menken. The lyrics originally were by Tim Rice, and it's just a really bonny tune, so I hope you enjoy it.
Before we go, I'd like to say a number of thank yous. Firstly, I would like to thank everyone for coming tonight to watch our Burns evening. Thank you to everyone who submitted a toast, music or a poem. A special thanks to our guest William Williamson for submitting his turn. I remember you entertaining us after the dancing had finished at one of our away weekends a few years ago. It was lovely to hear and see you again. Thanks to Charlie Abel for the wonderful music. I don't know where we'd be if we didn't have Fiona putting together the night's entertainment. He puts in a massive amount of work. We will be back again on the 21st of February with another virtual dance. This time it will be suitable for beginners and will contain straightforward dances. The programme is divided by Kathleen Bruce and Walter Sutherland. Our spring dance is being held on the 12th of March and there is a lovely mix of dances and music to look forward to. If you're a teacher and willing to call any of the dances, please let Len, our secretary, know. If you need help or guidance on how to do this, it will be provided. In the meantime, there is Zoom catch-up. Details are on Facebook and have been sent to you via email. 2 branch-wide chats were held at the end of December and beginning of January. They were very successful and will be held every second Tuesday. The next one will be held on the 7th of February. Class catch-ups are also being held regularly. Please contact the teacher, class secretary or representative in advance for details. Once we've finished for the evening, please feel free to turn on your camera and sound and catch up with whoever's left. Thank you.
This is Auld Lang Syne as you'd sing it at the end of a Cayley. It's near the full version and it speeds up a bit at the end. So you have to sing in a
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot for Auld Lang Syne? For Auld Lang Syne, adieu. For Auld Lang Syne, we'll take our cup o' kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. Now here's a hand, my trusty friend, and here's a hand o' thine. We'll take a recht good willie walk for Auld Lang Syne. Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Lang may your Limerick.